Welcome to the ESP Plus 103 Quotes, Orders, and Invoices. My name is Kevin, and I'll be your instructor today. This webinar is the final component of our ESP Plus training series. If you're interested in learning about creating projects and customizing the presentation, you can visit the ESP Plus knowledge base at kvespplus.asicentral.com or by clicking on the Help Center button and clicking Knowledge Base. On the ESP Plus Knowledge Base, you'll have access to helpful step-by-step articles as well as how-to videos. You can also access the ESP Plus training calendar where you can register for the previous webinars in the ESP Plus training series, which are the ESP Plus 101 Search and Collections and the ESP Plus 102 presentations. In this 1 hour advanced session, we will delve into the order process for ESP Plus from a customer's quote request to closing the project. So let's go ahead and begin. As you're able to see, I'm already on the home page. From the home page, we can access the project that we previously created for that customer. Now, if you watch the previous two recordings for 101 and 102, ESP Plus 101 and ESP Plus 102, you'll be able to see the project that we're going to be working on today, which is the project called Power Bank 24. And we're going to follow what where we stopped on the previous webinar, which is 102. We're going to follow accessing the presentation, and we're going to follow into the client safe, excuse me, I was going to say client safe mode, but into the client's portal where we're able to ask the client, ask the end user, we're going to go ahead and request a quote, and then we'll again become the distributor and work on that quote so we can send it for approval. Now, before we get to that point, I do want to mention something in the overview tab. That is the create a sample request option. You do have the option to do that from here. Also, you can create a order or create a new quote without having to receive a request from your client. At this point, I want to show you how it works from a quote request from your client, but you're able to use these two options if you want to create it yourself. There's also as I said, the create a sample request option where you can click on it, and it's going to give you the same screen you saw before when you were creating a project where you add additional information in regards to the sample request in this case. Once you're done, you can then click on create sample request. The sample request will be completed and you can submit it to the supplier. For now, I'm just going to close this. I just wanted to show you that option before we move forward. So let's go ahead and go to the presentations. And as I mentioned before, we immediately see updates about the presentation, products requested, which are 0 at the moment, disliked, disliked and liked products, as well as last time it was viewed. At this point, we can click on the edit button because if you want to make changes to the products, you have to click on edit. We get the presentation settings, we get the product page preview, the landing page preview. And as I mentioned before, when you're sending when you send the presentation, make sure that the pricing is activated, that your additional charges is activated. If you want to provide imprint option, that's activated, because these three options are by default turned off. So you want to turn them on. Also, the allow customers to select the product variant is another option you will need to turn on. So you want to make sure you turn this on so they're able to request that quote from you, so that once you have order information, you can then confirm the quote to the customer and they approve the quote and you can then convert that into an order. So let's go ahead and now I talked about the personal note where you're able to, in the previous webinar, personal note where you're able to use your own notes, like your own message to your customer, or you can use an AI generated note. and the expiration date, depending on when the event date is and when is the last time you want them to be able to order again from this presentation, or at least contact you about this presentation. You can always just change this expiration date if necessary. So let's go to the top. You have the products at the bottom. Let's go to the top, and we're going to go ahead and make believe we share this with the customer. So we're going to click on share with customer. We're going to click on share via link, and we're going to copy the link. We're going to go ahead and make believe we're the customers now. So we're going to grab that link, click on it. You have the client. This is the client's portal. I'm able to see the products I previously liked, every product I added to the shopping cart, which tells me here I have 4 different products in my shopping cart. I have one product which I haven't added to my shopping cart. I can review my shopping cart over here and see the different products available, and if I like something or I don't like something. Um, and then I can also just go back to products, and I can go through this product here and add to the shopping cart if I wanted to as well. So let's say I want a quantity of 10, I can add a 10 here. I can decide whether I want to have an imprint method applied to it, or some type of artwork added to it. So I can use unimprinted or digital inject. I will select digital inject, and then you can add the logo here if you wanted to. So if I want to add this logo, I can just search, click on it, and there's the logo that I want to apply to this product. I will click on save, and then I can move to the cart. So now I order every single, or at least every single product that it's available. Yeah, I believe it's every single product available on the presentation. I have ordered some type of quantity. I have 150, 200, 250, 500, excuse me. And then we have 150 down here. We just ordered 10. Yeah, the 10 is all the way at the top. So we can click on review details. So by clicking on review details, you're basically preparing this for a quote request. So now you add your name, you add the email. So we're going to add this email. It updated the name, but that's fine. Notice how some of them have little blue star. Those are required fields. So that's something that you want to mention to your customer. So they'll add their phone number. They can add the enhanced date, which we said it was going to be the 13. The event is on the 15. We have the business name, which we can change if necessary. The name again, I'm just going to make it everything the same. So we have John over here. So we're going to put John as well down here. And there we go. So we added John here as well. We're going to have the address, city, state, zip code, and country added. They can add a second address line, like a department number, suite number, or anything like that. I'm going to make the billing address the same as the shipping address, but I can actually just enter a different address if I need to. PO reference, if I want to do some type of PO reference, I have a preferred shipping method, and maybe there's an account, a shipping account I can add. Those are optional, it just tells you right there, but I can add that information if needed. And then I can again upload the artwork here for not just one product, but this is for all products. So if you don't add it to that one specific product, you can just add it here for every single product so they know. And I can add a small message to my um, contact or distributor in regards to the order or what I'm trying to get here. Once you add that message, you should be done unless you want to add anything else or want to go back to the cart. At this point, all you have to do is send a quote request. You get a message at the top. Perfect. Now it says your quote request has been sent. We as distributors now, if we just open ESP Plus, I'm going to open ESP Plus separately. At some point, we're going to get a notification letting us know that the quote request has been submitted. Sometimes it might take a few minutes or a few seconds. I'm just waiting on that to appear. But that was the sound of an email that I received in regards to the quote. Still waiting for the notification, but that's fine. We can just go to the project. Maybe let's say the customer let us know via email that they requested a quote or they called us. If not, that email we just received should be an indication of the quote. So we go to Power Banks 24. You immediately see an alert saying that John has requested a quote for presentations for the presentation that we created for Power Banks 24. And at this point, we can go to, instead of presentations, now because they requested a quote, we're going to quotes, orders, and invoices. So let's go there, and you're going to get quote number, which it tells you here. If you click on this arrow and you have other files like invoices and purchase order, you'll be able to switch in between them on this dropdown. Currently, we only have the quote number or the quote, so that's fine. But later on, I'll show you how it looks when you have all three in there. So when you get to the point of quotes, orders, and invoices, at this point, you can add more products, add services. You have this three dots over here, which allows you to send the quote. So once you confirm the quote, you add on the necessary pricing, you can send the quote to the customer. You can download the proposal, convert it to an order, preview the quote. So you have many options from these three dots. You have the customer information, which I did mention whenever somebody requests a quote from the presentation, whatever information they add is what's going to show as the shipping contact and billing contact. So you see John here. You have the quote information, which just provides some of the information about the quote. And on the left-hand side, you have a summary. So it just gives you a summary of the order, what your vendor cost will be, which is your price, and then what the customer's price will be. This is what they're paying, and this is the recommended price um, by the supplier, unless you make changes to the price in the presentation. You have the margin, which is your earnings, the sales tax, if you have your sales tax settings correctly set up, and then the entire total um, at the bottom of the summary. If you scroll down, you'll see the artwork file, and then you'll see all the different items that you have available. Now, when it comes to quotes, on the left-hand side here, you have decorations, shipping, and related orders. What what each of these tabs do is basically under decorations, you're able to see the different decorations that were added. For example, this logo was added for this order, but some of these products are not applied to this logo. So what you want to do at this point is click on Add Products. If all products are going to have the same logo and maybe only one of the products currently has it, you can click on Add Products and apply the remaining products to this logo. So it would reflect on the suppliers and that each of these products will have this artwork applied to them some way or somehow. So we're going to click on add products, and now all products should be related to the same or should be connected to the same artwork. You got the successful message, and if we go back to product and pricing, you'll see it under each product going forward. Now, shipping is just an explanation of the shipping route going from the supplier to you or to the customer, but you're able to change that if you need to. You can change the destination. You have the ability to do it from here. You have the three dots. You can click on edit. If the destination is not correct, or maybe you added the wrong information, that's fine. You can edit that and make sure that it's pointing to the right location, or maybe do some split shipping if necessary. And each product has their own shipping, so you can edit that on each one as well. Um, you have the related orders, which is just orders related to this, like if you have an invoice or a quote, excuse me, this is a quote, an invoice or a purchase order related to this quote, you'll see them here, which you'll be able to click on and change to them or edit them or work on them, as well as when you have them, you'll be able to click on them from here. So let's go back to product and pricing. And as I mentioned, there's two logos here because one was added to the actual product, the other one was added at the bottom of the uh, customer information page. So that's what we're seeing too. But if you notice now, every single product has that logo added to them. You can delete one if necessary. Let's say yes. Might take a few seconds. All right, so we only have one, which is all I needed. And what you're able to do is on each of these products, you can change the orders in which the products are showing. Over here on the right side, you have three dots. So these three dots allows you to either move them up or down. They also allow you to move them up or down depending on what location the product is on. Because this is the first product, so if you click on these three dots, you can click down to move it down. There's nothing above it, so it's not going to give you the move up option. But if you go to this product, you'll be able to see the move down or move up options. You can also delete products or copy them, basically duplicate them on this order. Now, if you ever want to edit a product for some reason, let's say that there's some adjustments you need to make to the price, you can click on the three dots, click on edit, and the first thing you're going to see is the product image. So that's the first thing that will call your attention because it's something that's, you know, a decent size. It's pretty big. So the first thing you see here is that product image. You can change or switch between the different product images that you have available. You have the product name, product number, which you can change, CPN number. You have the product description. Over here at the top, you have the cancel and save button. You can go back to product and pricing where you have the list of products. Down here, which we'll get to that in a few seconds, let's just continue. But this part, no matter where you are, will continue there. So you can scroll down, up or down on the page, and that bar is down here, which tells you the total quantity of this specific product, the vendor cost, the customized price, and the margin. You have the 6-in-1, the name of the product, and you can click here to look at the product details, and you can switch between the next and the previous product if necessary. If you scroll down towards the bottom, you're going to see the breakdown, like the pricing grid, where you have the quantities, you have the net cost, you have the margin, you have the price, and at this time you have the total price and total cost. If you need to add another line item, you have this add another line item, which allows you to select a different color if you wanted to. We currently have the white plastic. We can select the black plastic option that's available. Once you click on it, you'll be able to add the quantities, and by adding the quantities, it automatically updates the actual pricing and net cost as well as margin. If you ever make changes to the price, the margin would adjust automatically, so it's not something you'll have to figure out. You can also just delete it. That's perfectly fine. And you have the box to decide whether you want this product to be taxed or not. Next, you have the options and charges. Now, from here, you can add charges to this product. Yes, you can add the setup charge and imprinting charge on this area. If the supplier, and if excuse me, if the supplier will make the decorations or apply the imprint methods to the product, you can even add the imprint information to this area. If the supplier is not the decorator, you're using a third-party decorator, my suggestion would be to add it under the decoration details tab, which is down here. For now, let's focus on options and charges, where you can use any of these charges, and then you can just add the quantities and add the pricing. You can also add the net cost if you wanted to. If the pricing and net cost is the same, just add the charge price here and the charge price there, and the margin will calculate automatically, as I mentioned before. You can add more than one charge. You can add a run charge. It's up to you. Some vendors, where it says vendor charges, some vendors will give you suggested charges, which they normally add them if their charges are regularly applied to every of their order or most of their orders. So they'll give you some suggestions, and if you're aware that one of those charges applies to your order, you'll be able to click on a plus sign that the charge will have next to it so you can add it. And then once you click on there, it's going to show up under options and charges. This vendor doesn't provide that option. I can try going to any of the other products and see if we find a vendor that provides the option. But for now, let's just continue. Um, we'll continue going down, and once we get to the end, we'll move to another product and see if we find the vendor's charges on one of those products. For now, we got to the decoration details, as I mentioned before. It tells you down here who the decorator is. At this point, is Hit Promotional Products, which is the supplier. If I'm using a third party, this is where I'm going to select them. So I'm going to click on the X and look for that third party decorator. One way to do it is you can open a different tab, search for decorators if you don't have one already in your system on your CRM. If you haven't saved the decorator, you can search on ESP Plus, find a decorator that you would like to work with, and then add them to your CRM, and you can then search for it here. You have the ability to apply decoration details to all product variants, meaning to every single color available for this product. So if up here we decided to also add the black plastic option, then down here we'll be able to select between if the decoration we created up here will be applied to all product variants or just one product variant. So all colors or just one of the colors available that we selected. If you want to add decoration details or manage the decoration details, because right now it's already in there. Normally you don't see this. If you're creating the order yourself or you're working on the quote yourself and the customer didn't add a decoration to the product and we didn't go to decorations and selected every single product or connected every single product to the artwork, then at that point, this area will basically be just an open area asking for the imprint location, imprint method, and things like that. So what you normally see is what you see if you click on edit. So let's click on the three dots. You can edit, copy, or remove, but we're going to click on edit. And this is what you normally see if the artwork wasn't added automatically or if the artwork wasn't added um, by the customer. So you'll be able to select the imprint method. You'll be imprint location, excuse me. You got the imprint method. You have the imprint color, imprint size. Notice that they don't have blue stars, so they're not required. But if you have that information, you can definitely add that there. Um, you can select from orders. So if you have another order that has the artwork that they want to use, you'll be able to upload them from there. You can again upload your artwork here. You can upload more than one if necessary. You have the instructions box, proof required. So if you want an email proof required, you can add the email here and click on require client's approval if you want to. If you don't want them to approve the proof, you can just click on the checkbox and not do that at all. You have the, again, instructions on the left-hand side. You can make it visible on clients' documents, so such as quotes or invoices. They are normally for your client. The purchase orders is for the supplier. It will also show on the acknowledgement if you send it to your client. Down here, you have save decorations, so you can give this decoration and all the details you added to it. You can give it a name so that in the future you can just look for the save decoration and add it to the product, and it just saves you some time. So if this is a decoration method, a decoration artwork that they normally use, or that this is a reoccurring customer that comes and orders different products but with the same logo, then your best option will be to save this decoration name, and later on you'll be able to search for it. For now, I'm going to click on cancel because I don't want to make any changes, and we'll leave it as is. You have the decorator once again, and you can add vendor notes to the decorator. So in this case, the decorator is the same as the supplier, so you're basically just adding a note to the supplier. If the decorator was different, you're adding a note to that specific decorator, and you will be able to show that note on customer facing documents if you wanted to. This is where you normally would add decoration charges, so any decoration charges should be applied here. Whether it's a setup fee or whether it's anything else, you should add those charges on this section. Let's add 60, and for net cost, it will be the same. And we can add more than one charge if needed, or run charge. You have suggested decoration charges. So up here, we don't have any suggested vendor charges, but we do have suggested decoration charges, such as the setup charge, which in this case, it's less than what I thought. So let's go ahead and add this setup charge instead. Now we have it up there. It says 40 will be your net cost, and they suggest you to have the setup charge for the customer as 50. We're going to delete the one that we created and use that. We can also use the additional color charge if you have to, or if it applies to your orders, you can add that. If not, then you can just add whatever other charges you want from here. You have the apply a decoration template where you can import a decoration. Like for example, if you named a decoration in the past, you can create a new decoration template, which gives you the same options you see up here. Whatever you saw in here allows you to add another decoration if you're trying to add more than one. Again, you have the shipping breakdown and then the sales tax with whatever rates you have set up on your system. You can also manually add your rates, but that's again up to you. At the end, you have the instructions, which at that point is up to you whether you want to add instructions to this product in regards to the decoration or anything else. We're going to save it. We're going to wait for that successful message. Perfect, it has been updated. And at this point, we can move to other products where we can work on those products if necessary. And as soon as we click on the next product, we do have a suggested or a vendor charge, which we can apply to options and charges. This is rush service and it's QUR, one business day. QUR means quote upon request. You have to contact the supplier to find out what the actual charge is. But they suggest that they do have the ability to do a rush service charge for one business day. And like I said, you can continue going to the next product, or even go into the previous product if you need to make readjustments, or maybe you clicked on one product that wasn't the first product and you just want to go to the one that was before that to work on that product instead. Now, once you're done making changes, you can go to back to product and pricing, where any changes you made will reflect on the portal or here on this page. So these are the changes we made to this product. We have the additional charges and everything. And at this point, we can just contact the supplier, not the supplier, excuse me. We're going to send the quote back to the customer so that they can approve all the additional charges we added to their quote request, and they can approve of the entire balance, which in this case is 18,000. So let's go ahead and click on these three dots. We're going to click on send to customer, and we're going to click on share via link, but you can share via email. That's fine. You just update the email because it's using whatever email they added to that information page. But if that's not the email they want you to contact you, for some reason they changed their mind, you can add an additional email or change the email to something else. We're going to copy the link. And now by copying the link, I can share this link again with my customer, or they can open the previous link they had. Now, the difference between presentations and quotes is that the quote won't show on the link that they have unless you click on share and then click on share link and click on copy. So once you copy the link, their link would update. So again, we're going to make believe we're the customer. Let's say this is the link. Either they left it open or they just click on the link that you provided previously. If they refresh the page, now it's going to say products in quotes. So now they have one quote and they'll be able to see what the quote is. They'll see all the changes you made, like the additional charges. Let's make believe we added charges to every single product. And at this point, they can either scroll down and approve the quote, or they can go through everything and basically just say, okay, I like these products, but uh, they're not, the price is a bit over my budget. It's not what I was looking for. It's too high up there. I want to bring it down a bit. So they can, at that point, decide to make changes. So one thing I just noticed is that one of the products has a balance of zero. That could happen if you're going through the products and you see that one has a balance of zero and you're on the quote. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is go to that one product, click on edit, and let's do that now if you don't mind. Let's click on those three dots, click on edit, and then we're going to, it was a silver rectangle metal and black rectangle metal. So we're going to go ahead and select those. Oh, that's the only color basically. Okay. Um, we're going to select them again, and we're going to add those quantities again. Once you select them again and the quantities are selected, the price should show on the new products. So we can then delete them. And all you have to do at that point is save or make any additional changes, like add additional fees and things like that. So we're going to save that, go back to product and pricing. As I mentioned, for the update to show on the actual client's link, we need to copy the link again. And now we can go back to the quote, refresh the page, and that product should be updated. There it is. So yes, now our balance is a bit higher. So what we're going to do at this point is, let's just make believe the customer decided to just remove some of these products. Like for example, they like this product, but the fact that they're ordering 10 for 1,500, what they're able to do is just request and just let them know, like, please remove this product, and they will type the name of the person because we want to know who requested these changes. Please remove. There we go, and save. So that's one change. Here, we're gonna bring this down to quantity of 50, but obviously they'll add more details. I'm just gonna say quantity of 50 to give you an example. Again, add the name of the person, save it. We can also lower this quantity. We'll say we just want 100. It's 200. Let's say 50. I just don't like the fact that the price is so high. So we're making multiple changes, and you'll see how it's going to let us know on the other end what they are. Remove the black option, and we'll leave it at that. I don't want to spend too much time just making adjustments, but I'm just giving you, this is a good example of what they're able to do once you submit that quote to them. I'll say Joe. It's John. All right, save it. Perfect. Now we can continue making changes, but they still have the ability to approve it. But now we're going to request those changes. So send changes requests. I'm going to take us to the home page. We got that successful message. You're going to receive another email. You should also receive a notification, which up to now, for some reason, I haven't received any. I'm not sure if it was because I was within the project. That's why I left it, just in case. Um, Nothing yet. All right, that's fine. Um, yes. All right, so that was sent. So all we need to do now, it tells you here, all we need to do now is wait until we got that email, which it just heard the sound of it. So we're going to go to projects. Again, we're going to go to power bank. And now we have here the information. It tells you Disney has requested changes to the quote. John has requested quote. Yeah, we saw that message before. So right now it's just telling us that there's some changes that were requested. So we're going to go to the quote, and it's going to let you know exactly what changes are. It tells you change requested, change requested, change requested. Any product that has a change requested, you'll see the little message on it. And you can just click on it and you'll see the details about, you know, over here where it says customer message. It tells you what you need to remove. So they say they don't no longer want the black option or the color black on this product. So we're going to click on remove. And that's pretty simple. So we can click on save. We can also go back to product and price. We can go back to product and pricing, look at the other product, which in this case should be the one previous, oh, this one here. We're going to click again on the three dots, edit, and scroll down. Day 150 instead of 200. We're changing the quantities. That's about it. And we're clicking on save. We're going back. We're done with this. We're going to move on to the first two. For example, this one here. And it tells you, please remove this product. So something I just noticed or forgot to mention, you also see it right here. It tells you customer message. It tells you please remove this product. And this one tells you please change to a quantity of 50. So you'll be able to change or remove or read whatever the changes they want first before going in. So let's go ahead and remove this product from our order. Yes, delete this item. And we're updating this one here, which they want a quantity of 50 as well. So let's go ahead and edit this. We'll make it 50. We're going to save it. And now we're going to go back to product and pricing. And we updated everything. We made 50 here. We made it 50. Down here, we removed the black color. We removed that one product that they didn't want. So now we can go ahead and once again, click on the three dots. We're going to click on send to customer. And don't worry about this orange line here. Once you send it to the customer or copy the link, it will update and disappear. So now it's grayed out, awaiting approval again. So you're all set. You don't have to do anything else. Awaiting approval, waiting approval. So we're all set. Now we can let the customer again know that they can access that link, refresh it, or access the new link we sent them. They'll refresh it. They'll see a new balance instead of 28. Well, we're down to 12,000, which is good in a way. And at this point, they'll see the updates that we made and everything that was changed, and they can go ahead and click on approve quote. So once the quote has been approved, there we go, successful. You have approved the quote. Now you as the distributor will have the ability to just go into the project. You're going to receive an email. You're going to get a notifications that the quote has been approved. Now it tells you that the quote has been approved. For example, this one where it says they requested a quote, if you don't want to see this, you can mark this as resolve. You can mark this as resolve as well. And then with the quote being approved, we can go to quotes. And from here, at this point, what we're doing is we're going to the three dots and we're converting this quote into an order. And now here it's going to change from quote number to order number. And now we have a purchase order. Now it's pretty similar as to what you do on a quote. You have the same buttons where you can add more products, add services. You have the three dots. You have the artwork file and same configuration where you can click on edit and make changes if they make another decision of going, lowering the quantities, lowering the price or whatever else. But the biggest difference is over here on the left hand side. Aside from product and pricing, aside from decoration, shipping, and related orders, now you have payments and invoices, you have bill, and you have purchase order. So at this point, if the purchase order is ready to be sent, you can go to purchase order and you'll find the send purchase order or download PO. So send PO, download PO, it gives you the ability to send it to the supplier. You will select, if the order has more than one supplier, you can select this box and select which supplier you want to send it to first. You can download the purchase order to your computer. You'll see the different purchase orders down here because we have 4 different suppliers. And right now it tells you none of them has been sent to the supplier. Keep in mind that if you download the PO, it will also mark it as sent to the supplier. So if you see it sent as the supplier, make sure that you didn't download it instead of sending it, because it will mark it as sent to supplier if you download it. And if you didn't send it, it might be a bit confusing. We're working on changing that. We have a request for that. So let's go ahead and go to product and pricing, because from here, you do have the ability to click on these 3 dots and not just have access to the packing list, which you can send it or download it if you need to. You can also download the sales order or acknowledgement. You can preview the acknowledgement. So if you want to send an acknowledgement to the customer, you're definitely able to. You can click on send acknowledgement, share via share via link. So you copy the link and you can have the customer once again uh, look at the acknowledgement. So now they have the order tab and they'll be able to see what you're ordering for them. So this is the acknowledgement. They're able to see that the order is processing. They'll see how many products in production. So they'll have a bit more information. So this is an option you can send to the customer so they can keep track. Again, it's up to you whether you want to do this or not, but it's still an option for them. If we go back to the order, like I said, you do have the packing list. Some of our members love to use the packing list, so you have the ability to download it or to copy it. You can even send it to QuickBooks if you have QuickBooks or SmartBooks integrated with ESP Plus. At that point, let me mention the fact that you can reorder. So create another order or reorder the specific order if they want to be ordered again later on in the future, and you can delete it. For now, let's go to bills. So we talked about purchase order. I talked about how you're able to send it. Obviously, I'm not going to send this order because it's a fake order, but you're able to send it by clicking on one of these 2 options, whether you want to send it directly from your email or you're okay with using the email system that ESP Plus uses to submit orders to the supplier. But on the left-hand side, you have bills where you're able to send a bill to QuickBooks if you have QuickBooks integrated. And then you have payments and invoices where you're able to indicate payments or create an invoice for this purchase order. So if we just make believe that we have submitted the purchase order, the supplier approved the purchase order, you received that email, the confirmation from the supplier. It's up to you whether you want to take the payments before they receive the product or after. But once you're ready to send the invoice, this is where you're able to create that invoice for the customer. Aside from being able to send the invoice to QuickBooks one more time from this section, you can create the invoice as well. And as I mentioned before, if you click on this arrow, you can go back to the quote if you need to. Same thing with an invoice. Once you create it, you'll see invoice in here. And like I said before, under related orders, you'll see anything else that's related to this. For example, the quote. And when you have an invoice, you'll see invoice in here. Now, quotes has all the steps fulfilled because basically they approved the quote and you converted it to an order, and that will be the last step. So you're all set. Quotes, basically, you can close that. I usually close everything once I get to the end, but you can close it before if you want to. But let's go to what was it, payment and invoices. And now we can indicate payments here, or we can create an invoice and indicate that they made a payment in the invoice. So let's actually do that. Let's click on create invoice. Yes, I want to copy the following artwork and click on create invoice. And perfect, now the invoice has been created. One more time, you can edit, just like in the order and quote, you can edit any product if there's any adjustments that needs to be made. You can edit the decoration if you wanted to. But at this point, we're going to go ahead and click on the three dots. We're going to click on send invoice, and we're sharing the link one more time with the customer, the due date for them to make a payment. So let's say that the due date is the 20th. When was it? No, we made the expiration date for the presentation the 18th. All right, let's make it the 18th. Copy link. And again, you can share that link or send it via email. But once you do that, they'll be able to once again just refresh their page, refresh the client's portal. And now, aside from quotes, aside from orders, they'll have invoice. And notice how it's telling you that it's in progress or in production. So step one is order in process, step two is production. So we're going to click on invoice, and this is their receipt. They'll be able to print it, download it, and it just tells you what their balance is at the bottom. This is what they need to pay. And at that point, you'll have to receive the payment from the customer. Now, one thing I want to mention is there's no money exchange, there's no accounting done in ESP Plus. So if you're receiving a payment from the customer, you're going to be receiving that payment however you normally receive payments from your customer, whether it is your own payment system outside of ESP. But the thing is, you don't receive payments, or you don't pay for the order. They don't pay for the invoice through ESP. Yes, you're able to indicate that you received the payment from the customer, but you're not able to actually receive it from ESP, which at that point you can go to payments and indicate the payment. So when you click on indicate payments, you can add a transaction number. You can tell what the currency is, when they made the payment. So if we say that they made the payment exactly on the day we suggested, which I believe we made it the 18th, they can add the payment method, or you can add the payment method. That's the only thing that's required here. Payment date and transaction and notes are not. So you can go ahead and select the payment method. Let's just say, don't see credit card, but I'm gonna go with check. I'll just go with Visa. That's fine. So they pay with a Visa. You can, if you want to, you can indicate that they've paid half and save it, and then later on indicate payment again and mark the new payment, the remaining balance. But for now, we're gonna mark it as paid in full. They pay with a Visa. No transaction numbers, no notes, and we're saving. It's going to update here, balance due and payments. It's going to update to what they paid and what the balance due is. And this order is basically all set because they made the payment, they received the products. We went through the order process, the invoice, they saw the invoice, they made the payment. There's nothing else we have to do with this project. If I want to leave this project open, that's fine. but you can also close the project. So that's what we're going to do now. And like I said, this is a software that integrates with SmartBooks and QuickBooks. So if you want to send those bills over or invoices, you can click here to send that over. You can send the bill from here, from the purchase order. You're able to send the invoice. It's up to you. But let's go ahead and I'm going to start by closing the actual quotes, orders, and invoices, and then we'll close the project in total. Because you can continue creating orders on this project, you're not able to create more presentations. As I mentioned on ESP Plus 101, presentations are uh, one per project. So when you create a project, it's simultaneously creating one presentation. So at that point, you're not able to create more presentations. But yes, you can create more orders, more quotes, more invoices by going to the overview tab and clicking on whatever of those two options you want to use. Um, so for now, let's go to, yes, we're going to go to the quote, which we're already there. And I'm going to update the status of this quote to close. I can add some notes, click update status, move to the order. I got a successful message. I'll prefer don't be don't do what I just did, which was basically change before the message came up. I would suggest to just wait until that message appears and then you can move on to the next one. So I'm going to wait this time. And there we go. It changed to closed. And then let's go to invoice lastly. Now we indicated that the payment was made, so there's nothing else we need to do with this invoice aside from closing it. So let's update the status. Closed. And we're all set. So now this invoice, quote, and purchase order has been closed. Like I said, you can continue creating quotes and orders. That's fine. But if you're not using this project anymore because it was specific to something or specific to an event, then you can go to the three dots, and this is where you're able to close this project. So this three dots allows you to add notes, create tasks, create flag, and transfer ownership. In this case, we're going to click on close project. We talked about these three dots on ESP Plus 101 when we created this project because that's where I showed you how to create the project. ESP Plus 102 was mostly just the presentation, and this one is mostly just quotes, orders, and invoices, and the client's portal. So again, when you're closing the project, you can add some notes, but you can also mark it as complete or any of these other statuses that you see here. So for now, we're going to mark it as complete. We're going to click on close. And once you close the project, you're not able to find the project using the search bar here. It is not going to show on the recent projects. It's only going to show under all projects. So you're going to have to go to all projects if you want to access this project again, and then you can activate or reopen the project if necessary. All right, so this concludes our session today. If you would like further information on managing orders, information in ESP Plus, or more about presentations, please visit the ESP Plus knowledge base at kvesplus.asicentral.com or by clicking on the Help Center button and selecting the knowledge base. The ASI technical support team is also available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And our phone number is 1-800-546-1350, option 2. You can contact us via email at support@asicentral.com. Thank you for your time and attention, and thank you for joining me through this journey of 3 videos. I hope you have a great day.